I read more books a month than I can physically carry. That is a known fact and definitely not a secret about me. And I've tried a few things to track my reading. And I just don't have the time and energy to create my own very complex Excel sheet. So today we're going to be looking into 7 less popular book tracking app options to see if they're the perfect fit for either me or you. Hi, hello, and welcome everybody to today's video. I hope you're all doing great. I am doing great. Thank you for asking. Today, we have something very excited planned because we're going to be talking about reading trackers. Again, this is technically part 2, but you don't need part 1 to understand part 2. So today, I've picked out 7 book tracker apps that I actually never heard of. I just went through the app store and I was like, yeah, this one it is. And we're going to look at them together and I'm going to tell you what the pros and cons are of each. I'm going to tell you the costs and see if they meet your requirements. I'm going to link part 1 down below for you so that you can check that out afterwards. And with that, I think it's just time to get into the app. And in the end, I'm going to list my favorite features for you again, because maybe there are some app developers and you're like thinking, okay, I'm going to create the perfect reading app, because let me tell you, that is a good idea. Or maybe you are one of those app developers and maybe you just want to like add some new features. I got some coming your way. So let's jump into the first app, which is BookJournal. This one is available for macOS, iOS, and as a website. So you can technically use it with whatever device you're working with, but it is specifically developed for iOS and macOS. As you can see, it's pretty understandable, and it is possible to just load your Goodreads data into the app really quick, really easy, and then you have all of your data in there. You can create little journals where you can add books, kind of like bookshelves, and then you can share those journals with other people that are also using the app so they can see that. For example, you can do my top 10 romances, and then you share that journal, and then people can see your top 10 romances and maybe read them. That is, I think, a very fun concept. So one thing that I really liked about this as well, when you like specifically go into the book settings, is that you can add specific tropes, and in the statistics later, those tropes are shown. So for example, if you read a book, you can put in the rating, you can enter your notes, you can put the spoiler or not spoiler thing. That's the same as in Goodreads, by the way. You can also put spoiler or not spoiler for your review. But then something that you can do is you can add tropes, and a lot of tropes will already be entered into the book by other readers, and then you can select or deselect those. You can select new ones, you can make new tropes, and then in the search thing you can also specifically search for specific tropes. I love that feature. I would love to just go in and search for a specific book trope. What more could you want? It's so cool, so nice. I just love that. Now for the rating system, it is possible in this app to give half stars, not quarter stars. We don't need quarter stars, but half stars is a possibility. However, I discovered a little issue with this app, and maybe the app developers can actually like help if you're seeing this. I'm not sure if you're seeing this, okay? But I tried, I loaded my data in here like a good month ago when I started planning this video, and for some reason the reading date of all of those books was today or yesterday when I took those screen recordings for you. So that's kind of a little messed up, because it tells me that all of those books, I read them in March. Every single book that I ever read on my Goodreads. So that something went wrong with this Goodreads upload, and I don't know what, but something went wrong here, because I will not go in manually and change the reading date of 300 something books. I just won't. Now for the pricing of this. The original app is completely free. However, you can buy additional journals. So you can only have 3 journals. And if you have the like full version, the paid for version, you can have more journals, and you overall have like a little more freedom within the app. Now the prices in this video will always be in euros. It might vary wherever you are with your currency, of course. This is in euros, so it's either $5.99 per month or $59.99 per year. So for a reading app, it is on the more expensive side of things, but I would say that that is still very manageable if this is the app that works best for you and if you really like the layout and the color scheme and stuff. What I also would like to mention about this is that you can put your profile in there, But there is also a privacy option that you can just turn on and kind of initiate an incognito mode where people just won't be able to find you on the app anymore, but you can still put your books in there, which I think is pretty cool. If you're just like one day like, okay, no, I don't want to share my opinions on books anymore, then you can just say private and then that's it. App number 2 is BookBuddy. Now, as far as my research goes with this is also purely an iOS app. I feel like this book is specifically designed if you enjoy lending out your books, because there is an option that you can click and you can say, okay, I gave this book to blah blah blah, and then you can just like see where all your books are. I feel like this is more for tracking your physical books than it is for tracking your reading. However, you can still track your reading in it. It's a very clean look that this app has. In the rating system, you can still rate half stars. I think that is very important, but you can probably do that in all of those apps, because the only one where you cannot do that is Goodreads. And I will not be talking about Goodreads because I talked about Goodreads in the first video I made. This app has no social features, so there is no way to communicate with others through this app. There is no way to look at other people's reviews. Now, the reason why this app looks so empty to you is because I put in one single book, okay? Because I could not be bothered to do this. I tried the Goodreads upload, like with my Goodreads data. It told me I had too many books in there, which I get it, there's like 500 books in that Excel sheet, okay? You kind of have to purchase the full version, and that's a lifetime purchase of $5.99. So when you do that, then you can upload all of your books that you've previously read. However, I didn't do that in this case because honestly, it was clear to me that this app wasn't gonna be for me. However, if you're really into this clean look, then maybe this one is it. Yeah, overall, this app also, this one is not for me. I didn't enjoy this one. It was a little too cold, too clinical for me, personally. The next app I tried is less of a reading tracker and more of a communal reading space, and that is Beanstack. I would say this is an online book club. You kind of sign up with your name and then you say where you live in the world, and you can absolutely not upload any data because this is just for picking a book and then kind of reading it as if you were in a book club, joining a specific group, and you can kind of pick a reading challenge that you are joining. For example, I picked this one with the queer books. What I would have wanted and wished for was that they like gave you some options to pick from. However, I just had to type in a book. I feel like it would have been a little nicer if they just gave me options and were like, okay, people in this group are reading this and this. What I kind of like is that you can put your entire family into this app, and then everybody can track their reading in there. I feel like that is a great option specifically for like members of a family. And then you can also get statistics. This app is completely free. It doesn't cost a cent. However, you cannot rate books in there, which I think kind of takes out the toxicity. You can write reviews, and in that review you could say, okay, 4 out of 5 stars, but there is no place where you manually just put in how many stars you would have rated the book, which I think is kind of good. And seeing as the concept of this app is to be social, of course, the social aspect of it is like a huge thing in this app. It's very important. It's the main thing that this app revolves around. I think it's not so much about tracking your reading, but it's about reading with others and kind of communicating through that. And with that, we're already moving to the next app, which is Reading List. Now, I kind of feel like that this is just a better version of Goodreads, to be honest. It kind of feels like they took Goodreads and then gave it some more features to like make it a little cooler. For example, there are some features that I absolutely loved in this. They have half stars, which in the rating system, you can just click out the book and you can give half stars. Another thing that I absolutely adored is that underneath every single book that you've already read, there is just this button that says read again. And when you click it, you just start another reading cycle, and it's super, super easy to track that, and the app can just easily track it as a read book, which I personally really love. That's just the coolest. What's also cool is that you can go into your TBR bookshelf, like the books that you haven't read yet, and you can literally go in and shake your phone and it will choose a book for you that you have to read next. I think that is awesome. That is such a cool feature to just pick a book at random if you cannot decide what to read next. I am baffled by this. I think this is such a cool and unique idea. I love this. This is so cool. It's probably also really easy. You could also just do a randomization button at the top and just be like, I'll pick a book for you. It's really simple, but it's a feature that I've never seen in a reading app, and I love it. So for this app, we have a free trial, and then there is this paywall that exists. And the cool features like the reread button and the shake to find a random book, those only exist if you pay for the full version. There is a free trial of a week, and then you either pay 15 euros a year or you pay 39 euros for a lifetime. Now there is also a DNF button, which I think is great. A lot of things come with this app that I think are really good. It's just so simple. You can just see that somebody who is probably a reader put a lot of thoughts into this and was like, okay, what do we need? We DNF books, so we need a place for that. We reread books, so we need a place for that. We have a TBR that's probably very long, so we need a place to pick a book at random, because apparently that's what people do. You just go with the flow, you go with the time, and I think that they did it really well. However, I would have just wished that their design was a little bit more, like a little cuter, just a little bit. I can see the statistics, okay? And the statistics are just like very plain. I've seen statistics in biology that are more fun, and this is supposed to be just reading and fun and books, so there is definitely potential in this app. I just wish that they made it a little bit more cuter, a little bit better. And the next app that we have is Leto. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but it's this one, okay? Let's just say that it exists. This one is not my favorite because I rarely see reading trackers that are specifically designed to track your reading that don't have star ratings again. Sure, if star ratings is something that really bothers you in an app, then this might be actually for you, but it's just not for me. I did an upload of my data, so that worked really well. However, I was just very confused throughout looking through the books, because there were just some books that I've never heard of, and I definitely did not read them or put them on my TBR. So I think that just somewhere in between, some of the numbers didn't add up and they just put different books in there, which that can definitely happen. It's just something that I realized. They also have a read again button, which I think is just a good feature. That is something that everybody should have in their reading app. It's just a read again button and then it's fine. There is also no social aspect, so you cannot communicate. It's just a place for you to have your books without ratings, which is why this app is not the perfect one for me either. However, this next app, I was impressed by this, okay? I was really impressed. This is Bookmory. Now, the names of these apps are getting weirder and weirder with every second, okay? But let's just talk about it. First thing you notice when you open this app, it is stunning, beautiful. The way that this looks is just, I've never seen anything so pretty in my life, and I want to live in this app, okay? The way that books are displayed, stunning. The way that they made it just a little more visually pleasing. They put effort in it, and I love that. They have a lot of statistics that they show you right at the top, and that's really easy. You also have a pretty easy Goodreads upload. All of that works just fine. Now for the rating system, it's pretty straightforward. You can rate a book with full stars, half stars. That's perfectly fine. Everything works great. Now, in your read books, I like to filter for a certain month, maybe, filter for anything. You can change the order that those books are like shown to you. You can turn off the star ratings. That I think is a pretty cool feature. And the way this is displayed just looks very visually pleasing. And that way you can like see, okay, these are my top books in this category and these are my top books in that category. And that really works fine, and I like that. I think this app visually is my absolute favorite, and I love the way this looks. Another thing that you can do with this app is you can track, if you add a new book, you can add the place where you bought it and the money that you spent on it. So you could also use it as like a money tracker, or you could use it as like a place where you bought this. You can track so many things with this that I think that's just cool. When you start reading a book, you start a timer in this app, and then you can technically time how long you read as well. So if you want to do that, you can track the time that you read and stuff, and then you can just like fill in the pages. And the cutest thing is that when you finish this book, there's this little celebration. I just think that's a cute little detail that's just easy to put into an app that just makes the experience so much better, because you can celebrate finishing a book. You can. Alrighty, and then for the last app, this one is, I can already tell you this one's not for me. If you are a new reader, that might be for you. If you are looking for just a place to track your reading, really simple, really straightforward, nothing much, fine. Really, this is a good app, but I have my issues, and let me tell you about this app. Let me show you. If you open it, it's pretty clean. It's a clean look if you're into that. Honestly, I wouldn't say this is a great app, because there is no option to upload your previous data. You have to start from scratch. Not everybody wants to start from scratch, people. It's just not what everybody wants. Also, if you want to have more than 15 books in this app, you have to pay. And it is $3.99 per month. And there is no option to pay a yearly fee or like a lifelong fee. So it's $3.99 per month if you want to have more than 15 books. And for me, I read 20 plus books a month. So that's just not the kind of app that I'm looking for. I put a Court of Mist and Fury in just to test it. There is also no option to rate a book. It is simply just for logging your reading and then like being done with the book and probably never looking at it again. That's all I have to say. It's just people use it differently. There is an AI assistant, but honestly, you can technically ask it for book recommendations. But would you really? Would you really ask this AI? Me? Not me. I didn't even try this because I didn't want to pay $3.99 for an app that I knew I wasn't going to use because I cannot rate things, I cannot put tags on them. This is just not the app for me, and I knew that going into this app. I just knew this isn't it. Those were all the apps. It's a weird thing to talk about apps that you could possibly use when we all have such different demands towards an app, and it's just a very personal thing which one you prefer. Now, me personally, I loved for the first app that we saw, okay, I loved the fact that you could put in tags and tropes and then also filter for specific tropes and just like see what other people put in the tropes. I love that feature. It's so good, so great, amazing. I love that. Then for the other one, for the reading list one, the shaking and the DNF button and the read again button, so good. So good. They're such easy features, but they make it so much better. So if I were to have my own app, I would use all these features together in some way to just make the perfect reading app. And then probably use the design that the Bookmory one had because it's just really good. So yeah. That was it. Please in the comments down below, by the way, tell me which reading app you're using. I would really love to know because I'm still looking for the perfect one. I might never find one. It's also alright. We're just looking for new ones all the time. And with that, I think we're coming to an end. I really hope you enjoyed this. I really hope I showed you some new app that you might actually enjoy, and I hope to see you for the next video that I make. Bye! Am I going to use any of these apps? Probably not, because I'm a lazy bean and I actually use my reading journal. But it's fun. It's fun to look into apps and bash other people's hard work because people put work and effort into these. Although with some of these, I don't think people put a lot of effort in them. I think it's just one person who's not really a passionate reader. But who am I to judge these people, okay? Who am I to judge? Anyway, I'll be reading now. Bye!